Hi everyone, so we're going to finish up the activities that support with crossing and looping under to form that final knot. And I'm going to go over two main activities today that can be modified to the child's interest. We used shoelaces, pipe cleaners, and cardboard. Cardboard that was just kind of cut in a basic square shape, and then cardboard that also was cut into kind of like a ring, so a circle, and then you cut out the middle. You can also use yogurt lids or any type of plastic lid and then just cut out the middle, or you can use those like mason jar lids that already have that kind of ring-like shape. All right, so for this activity, you can see that I already started to kind of give you an idea of what it could look like. And just very simply, you're just honestly going to have them, you can anchor it for them in the beginning as always to make sure it's kind of stable, but you really don't need to because it will automatically, kind of the tension of you wrapping around will kind of stay in place, but it's just going to be kind of that looping through motion, looping under, and it's just working on that kind of manipulation of something between your fingers, and then also kind of trying to push something under, kind of like that little bridge archway, and then going just repetitively doing it, and then you would kind of go through with all the colors until it's all completed, until you kind of have this pretty multicolored ring. You could do rainbows, and I'll kind of share some pictures of how you can modify this activity into multiple ideas, but the purpose of it is that it works on that kind of manipulation between your fingers as you're having to loop something underneath and then grab it from the other side while holding something with this hand, because you will be stabilizing with this hand, and that's similar to stabilizing kind of that little bridge while you're holding the other loop. Activity, I used cardboard, and I drew a few different characters on there. I drew Minnie Mouse, I just kind of drew the head of a rabbit and then another rabbit, but the whole body, and you'll kind of see why I did that. These characters are going to have some type of loop or bow that's part of their whole entire body. So what you're going to do is you are going to poke from behind. You're going to poke 4 holes into kind of where that bow or those loops would be on the character, and then you're going to poke it into one side, and then you're going to poke the other side, the symmetrical side, so that way you're set up for kind of doing that, the shoe tying technique where the loops are already made. So I poked them through the holes, and I'm going to poke them through that other hole right there. So now I have my loops already made to where I can just have them practice holding those ears, crossing them. So this is really like a wholesome activity of working on that crossing, and then they support it underneath the bridge, and then they loop under, grab it, and then they tighten it, and then they can do it again. So cross, support underneath the bridge with your finger, go forward and under, and then it's a cute bunny with a little bow tie. And you would do the same for these other cardboard pieces. So the bunny ears would be up here, so you'd loop them from behind and then back into that hole for one for each side, and then you can just tie off those bunny ears. And then the same for Minnie Mouse, where you can make her bow and her hair, and you can use different colored shoelaces, or you could just use one color. But the goal is that it kind of gives them a little bit of a motivation to practice that shoe tying and that knotting, so that way it's not just like, oh hey, here's some knots, but it's actually something that kind of gives them that goal in the end of like, I want to make their little bow part of their whole entire body.